What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, my name is Alex, and I talk a lot of movies and on occasion video games and TV shows on this channel. And tonight, I am going to be talking about the latest video game adaptation that is also based on a true story, and that is Gran Turismo, which stars David Harbour, Orlando Bloom, and I don't know his name. I should. That's kind of sad. Gran Turismo is the ultimate wish fulfillment tale of a teenage Gran Turismo video game player whose gaming skills won him a series of Nissan competitions to become an actual professional race car driver. Played one Gran Turismo, not that's Dead Space. Played Gran Turismo 7. It's fun. It's a fun driving simulator. It does require a lot of skill. But what I liked about this movie is that it weaves in what the main character knows about the game, like certain situations, how he has to maneuver around certain cars. He's like, oh yeah, I know that track layout. Oh, I know what maneuver I got to do here. So I like that the movie incorporated that. I thought that was a clever way of letting somebody who has never gotten behind the wheel of a race car operate an actual race car and use that strategy to race. The racing scenes in this movie are also pretty good, albeit not that memorable. They all kind of just blend and mesh together. There's always a big moment in each race, but you could easily mix up those moments for a different race in the movie. Like you could say like, oh, hey, there's a car crash in one race. You could easily say that it comes at a race earlier in the movie or a race later in the movie, or they're racing on this track right now, and you can think that that comes earlier in the movie or later in the movie. So it all kind of just meshes together, but that's what I came here for. I came to watch a Gran Turismo movie to watch the racing. And the racing, despite blending together and not really sticking out, does have cool yet predictable moments, but they were the parts of the movie that I felt like there was the most effort put into that they were well shot, fairly well edited, very well directed by Neil Blomkamp. Nice to see him back behind the camera. Thank God he gets a mulligan for Demonic. Also, David Harbour is in the movie, and David Harbour, stack him up against anybody else in this movie, and you'll be like, yeah, that's acting. He gives by far the best performance in this movie. Orlando Bloom is in the movie too, for the sake of this review, since it's a movie about racing and cars. I'm not going to call him Orlando Bloom. I'm going to call him Orlando Vroom. That's probably like the ultimate dad joke. That's got to be like the ultimate dad joke. If it's not a dad joke, then it's definitely a horrible one. Orlando Vroom. I get out the guys. All right, let's just get back. The joke's over now. Let's just get back to calling him by his real name. Orlando Bloom, I thought was playing Orlando Bloom in this movie. He's meticulous about his line delivery, his speech. You know, he says everything slow or he says everything in the same tone of voice. It's Orlando Bloom. We know who he is. He was like the first, like out of like the wave of Orlando Bloom, Sam Worthington, and Jai Courtney. He was the first one in like the early 2000s who was in everything. I mean, this dude was in Black Hawk Down, then he was in Lord of the Rings, and then Pirates of the Caribbean made him huge where he made Troy, Kingdom of Heaven, that rom-com he did with Kirsten Dunst, and then he just kind of went away for a while, and then he came back for Pirates of the Caribbean 5, and then he went away again, then he was in Carnival Row, then he went away again, and now he's in this, and it's just Orlando Bloom playing Orlando Bloom, and it's nice to see him back, but I wouldn't say his performance is anything memorable. Where the movie falters for me is the massive, massive absence of character development. I couldn't care about a single character in this movie. Orlando Bloom's character, don't give a shit. David Harbour, I did kind of care for. I get where he was coming from, but even then, there's not a lot there. But we're supposed to be following the main character. I don't even know his name. That's sad. How sad is that? That's how much I don't care. I don't remember the actual character's name. The main character that we follow throughout the entire movie. I don't remember his name because I don't care about him. There's nothing there for me other than, hey, look, my life is kind of shitty. I just sit behind a PlayStation all day and play Gran Turismo on the PlayStation 5, and my father's kind of beat me up about it. and I aspire to be a race car driver. I'm like, okay, good. Like, I understand that there's the aspect of your character there that's inspired to follow your dreams. Good. I think that's an inspiring story. You don't have any other character development though. You don't do anything cool. I mean, they try and give him like this like girlfriend in the movie who's in like 2 scenes. I'm like, this is completely pointless right now. The script is also pretty much a mess. The movie plays out in the exact same beats that you think it's going to. And the way that it's structured in the beginning kind of gives you a bad omen a little bit because you think, oh, all right, is this going to be an actual movie or am I watching a documentary? And then you realize you're not watching a documentary, but maybe you're thinking, okay, maybe Blomkamp's going to structure this like he did District 9 or Elysium with, like the mock interviews, like mockumentary, guerrilla documentary style, and then it will actually turn into a movie. And I just watched District 9 recently. That's still his best movie. And it's so cool how it just shifts from a documentary style movie to an actual like sci-fi thriller movie. And I thought that that's what this was going to do. But it didn't do that. And instead, I just felt like I was missing out on the movie. You know what I mean? Because I just felt like I was just watching hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of gameplay. Despite how entertaining and well shot and edited, it just felt like somebody was pulling a PlayStation controller out of my hands and wouldn't let me play. I get it. It's Sony. The Gran Turismo is only on PlayStation. They got a lot of endorsements, but man, half the time I felt like I was watching a commercial for Sony that involved cars. There's just so much Sony product placement. It got so annoying after a while. Like the PlayStation logo is visibly on the car throughout the entirety of the movie. Insane to me how much product placement Sony put on their products. And then there's like an MP3 player later in the movie. And when a character opens it up because it's like a present or something, he sees that it's an MP3 player and they're not subtle about it at all. It just says Sony. And I said out loud, of course it says Sony. Good job promoting yourselves, guys. Going back to the script issues though, the dialogue too is just, I don't know how to describe it, because okay, there's like a speech that David Harbour gives to our main character towards the middle of the movie to inspire him. You know how these types of sports biopics go. And I felt like there was cut dialogue, or they just forgot to write in extra lines of dialogue, because I felt like he was going to elaborate on his story, but the dialogue just got straight to the point. I said, okay, I guess that's the dialogue we're dealing with here. And it feels like that throughout the rest of the movie. The racing scenes are what we came for. They're entertaining enough, despite blending together. They have some really cool and big moments in them. I think they're well shot, pretty well edited, and pretty well directed by Neil Blomkamp. I think David Harbour's a standout in the movie. And I think the idea of having a Gran Turismo video game player learn the ways of the track, remembering certain tracks and having him use that as his skill sets as he's racing. Clever, very clever. I'm glad that was woven into the script. It's just all the other aspects didn't necessarily work for me for this movie. I enjoyed Gran Turismo with half a bucket of popcorn. Maybe slightly more. I haven't really decided. Right now, my Letterboxd, I'm going back and forth with what I'm giving it on my Letterboxd. So, but just don't go in expecting like greatness. This is not a biopic that's gonna blow you away. It's your average sports biopic with so many predictable factors and characters you don't really care about and some bad acting and weird dialogue. So just go into it with the mindset of you're here to watch the racing, and the racing is the most entertaining aspect of the movie, even if it doesn't really stand out all that much. So Gran Turismo comes out at the end of the month, so when you do see it, let me know what you think about it. Drop me some feedback in the comment section below. I'll leave my link to my website in the description below as well. You guys are the best. Thank you for watching. My name is Alex Madden, and I will see you at the movies somewhere.